Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is cynic. The truth is finally out. We must be very firm and straightforward with what we want to do. There is indeed in Mother Russia a very sad day, for it has been revealed that we are the ones who are behind all of the hatred for Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know I sound like I am German and Russian at the same time, but I can tell you that Boris and Natasha are very, very sad with this current state. This Morton Bay, Dr. Bay, who came out and said Star Wars fandom The Last Jedi. In First Monday, it shows 50%. 50% of criticism directed at Rian Johnson was political trolling, some of it likely from Russia. It was Mother Russia that was the cause of all of this nonsense. Anyway, guys, woo! Yes, so this is what's going on. This is what's going on now. Now, frickin' Rian Johnson, now Dr. Bay is trying to say, oh, all the hatred, all the anger, all of the bad thoughts, negative vibes for Star Wars The Last Jedi and for Rian Johnson are due because half of them are Russian bots, Russian operatives, or are just political trolls. And when I made a comment on this very post, I said, hey, guess what, Ryan? I'm neither Russian nor a political troll. You know, what do you have to say? One of his defenders, one of his fanboys went onto my page and said, oh, look, you made a comment about current events. See, you are political. See, look at you. You're political. You're political, and you're invading my safe space, and I can't take it anymore. That's what we're dealing with now. This is the world that we're dealing with now. The fact that people can't take criticism. The fact that people have to be like, but it's the Russian trolls. It's the people from Russia. It's the political trolls. It's not real people. Guess what, everybody that's watching the internet? I'm a real person. I'm a real person from these United States of America. I'm not a political troll. I'm just an everyday guy. Again, if you've known me, it would be very, very surprising if me, for the hours and hours and hours of live stream, just talking about random topics, talking about movies, talking about film, you know, not just Star Wars The Last Jedi, but talking about a lot of different topics. It'd be very odd if I was somehow a political troll, if I was somehow infiltrating the fandom menace, trying to say, oh, we're gonna use this anger, blah, 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 blah. No. That's ludicrous. The fact that there was someone who was given a freaking PhD who's going to write an article about this is ridiculous. It is terrifying in today's world. And also, it just goes to show you why modern day college, modern day, higher education is a joke. The fact that you, as a doctor, can write a paper saying that 50%, claiming that as your thesis, that 50% of people who are attacking Rian Johnson and attacking Star Wars The Last Jedi are Russians or political trolls? What? Are you out of your Falcon mind here? I mean, geez. And yes, I said Falcon. Don't correct me. I know it's Vulcan. I know that. I was just trying to avoid saying another bad word that started with the letter F, and I thought it would be funny. I thought it would be a pun. So go back to your Star Trek safe space. But let's actually see what in the world is this even about? ResearchGate.net. Well, that sounds, oh my goodness, guys, this sounds so... Oh, this sounds legitimate right here. ResearchGate.net. Oh, when it's .net and when there's gate in the title, you know it. Weaponizing the haters, The Last Jedi, and the strategic politicization of pop culture through social media manipulation. Yes, it was the Russians. Oh my goodness, the abstract political discourse on social media is seen by many as polarized, vitriolic, and permeated by falsehoods and misinformation. Political operators have exploited all of these aspects of the discourse for strategic purposes, most famously during the Russian social media influence campaign during the 2016 presidential election. Oh my goodness, yes, because guess what? So this guy's abstract is based on the fact that he cannot, just like so many people, can't get over the fact that Trump won the election. That is what this man's abstract is based off. This is what so many people's thought process and daily lives are defined by. The fact that, oh my goodness, guys, you remember when Donald Trump got elected president? The world is over. even though the economy is doing fine and, we're doing pretty good on trade. And, it's not perfect. I mean, obviously, I could go into some of the bad things. I could go into some of the criticism because guess what? No one's perfect. And it's not this channel's job to go into the political minutia of all these different things going on in the world. But it is important because when talking about this discussion, when talking about this guy, he is trying to use the 2016 election, his hatred for Donald Trump, and trying to say somehow, some way, this is also connected. Specifically, this study, as it says right there, examines a collection of tweets relating to a much publicized fan dispute over the Star Wars franchise film Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The study finds evidence of deliberate, organized political influence measures disguised as fan arguments. Are you kidding me? So you're saying that Geeks and Gamers, you're saying that, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, one of the largest channels, you're saying that Ethan Van Sciver, one of the largest channels behind this movement, and all of the people that support them, and the thousands and thousands of people, you're trying to say that 50% of that is Russia? You're trying to say that 50% of that is political agency? Are you stupid? Like, I don't even need a PhD. I don't even need to do this research because guess what? I can just look at it on face value. I can just have a conversation with somebody and understand that that's not the case. So someone gave you, because you say, oh, I earned it. I studied for a long time and I earned it. No, someone gifted you a PhD because if you're going to be spending your time, if you're going to be wasting your time using your PhD to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi and now 50% of the people criticizing it are Russians or political operatives, you are just beyond help. You are just beyond help at this point. And I know, I'm getting angry. The rage is, filling up in me today. But you know what? I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm so sick and tired of every single thing. Even now, it's not bad enough that this SJWism is infiltrating films. If you want to talk about an infiltration, look at SJWism into the film industry, into the television industry. Look there. Because you have a lot more evidence to back that up because you can actually look to actual movies, actual quotes, actual content. This, it's like, oh, well, I studied a bunch of tweets, and my research showed me that, that there's Russians involved. No. That is absolutely ludicrous, and I'm so sick and tired because now, not even the fandom menace, not even fan groups in general can be safe from this nonsense. Nothing can exist outside of the Hollywood bubble unless it's Russian, unless it's alt-right, unless it's some other random extremist group. No one can have an opinion. No one can be critical of any of these people or any of these films or any of these ideas and be a normal person. No, instead they're a Russian bot. Instead, they're just a hateful bigot. Instead, they're just a racist and a sexist and, a white male man baby living in his mama's basement. An incel is the other term that people like to throw out there. And it's this kind of discourse that is actually leading to the division in this country. You might say, oh, you're being divisive because look at all the anger and frustration you're showing. I'm angry and frustrated because I'm sick and tired of being put into this group. I'm sick and tired of being told that I'm something that I'm not. I'm sick and tired of people trying to define me as a person when I can do that myself. I know the kind of person I am. I know who I am. The problem is that you obviously have no idea who you are. You are the ones who obviously have no idea what is real, what is actually going on in the world today, what the facts are, what the objective reality of the situation is. No, you would rather say, oh yeah, Matthew Kadish, he's a Russian spy. Jeremy, a Russian spy. Ivan Ortega is a Mexican Russian spy. Jesse, Anna, all these other people who are part of this are just, they're half Russian, or some of us are some kind of Russian spies. Somehow, some way. No, you don't want to look at the data. You don't want to look at the numbers. You don't want to look at the fact that there are audience members who are not going to support Star Wars anymore because of The Last Jedi, because of the current state of Star Wars, because of all the nonsense, because of Rian Johnson attacking the fans, because of Rian Johnson supporting and promoting this nonsense. Again, Morton Bay put this out there, and guess what? Rian Johnson, in all of his wisdom, said, oh yeah, this is a bit of my own experience. I'm Rian Johnson, and I'm Rian Johnson, and I found myself in quite a position because I was being attacked by Russian trolls. I tell you, that's what we're dealing with today, and probably for doing that, I'm gonna get demonetized. This whole video is probably gonna get demonetized because guess what? YouTube's in on it as well. YouTube's in on the same game as well. Anything that they can do to silence, to quiet, to quell people who don't agree with them, to quell people who don't toe the party line, who don't believe everything, who are not the, oh, I'm a film critic and I'm, totally unbiased and I'm just a regular person. Everyone else who doesn't agree with me is just a bunch of racist, sexist. No, that's not how reality works, and I'm just so sick and tired of this nonsense. And you know, people say, oh, you didn't even read the report. I mean, The Last Jedi and the strategic politicization of pop culture through social media manipulation. So this is, people trying to say that haters have been weaponized and that it was the Russian government who decided, oh my goodness, we need to tear down Rian Johnson, guys. Like, just think about that for a second. You're trying to say that the Russian government cares about Rian Johnson, that the Russian government cares about Star Wars The Last Jedi and wanted to tear it down and wanted to affect it. That is what you're trying to say here. Just open up your mind for a second. Get out of that safe space. Get out of that little bubble that you put yourself in and just think to yourself, does that make any sense? Does that honestly make any sense, Mr. Morton Bay, PhD? Does that honestly make any sense? Research Fellow, Center of the Digital Future, USC, Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism, USC. Yep, that's about all I need to know. Yeah, so guys, if you want to read this yourself, if you want to actually go into the data, you can go right ahead. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. And the reason why is because, guess what? I don't need a PhD. I don't need to go into all of this research about, oh, you studied thousands of tweets, you just don't know, just read the research. I don't need to do that because I can just look at what this saying. I can look at the abstract and say, this is nonsense. And guess how I know that? Because I live in the real world. Because I talk to people. Because I see what's actually going on. Because I understand what's actually going on. You are the ones that choose to remain blind. You are the ones that choose, again, to hide away, pretend like everything else is hatred, everything else is evil in some way, in some capacity, instead of focusing on what's actually real. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts about this? Like, do you honestly think that this guy, you know, Morton Bay, PhD, guess what, guys? I would not be surprised if this guy gets a nice little verified check mark next to him pretty soon, because guess what? That's just how the world works. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think we're all Russian spies? Like, you know, are you offended? If you're Russian, are you offended by my accent? Please, I want to know, because I want to make sure that I'm not offending anybody. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not, you know, trying to infiltrate you as a political, you know, weapon or of any kind. I want to make sure that I respect your safe space and I respect your tight-knit community. But please, let me know in the comments below. I greatly appreciate that. Also, all the Russian bots out there, please, you know, leave your, you know, doobly-doo down in the comments below, because I would love to read those as well, just to see how many people are actually Russian bots. How many people, not people, but, you know, programs, I guess, government-run programs. I want to see Putin. I want to see Putin. I want to see why and how. I want an explanation. Why did Putin want to destroy The Last Jedi? Why did Putin want to destroy Rian Johnson's career? Why? That's what I want to know. Leave Rian alone. Leave The Last Jedi alone. Anyway, guys, have a great day. If you like this video, please share it. Please give it a thumbs up, because you know that YouTube is going to demonetize this very, very quickly, and it doesn't stand a chance. But I would at least love for this to be able to do very well as far as views are concerned, because they need to know. They need to know that there are common sense people out there. They need to know that they can't just censor speech whenever they feel like it. They need to know that they can't just attack people because they have a different point of view and try and say, oh, it doesn't meet our standards. I'm sorry, but if I can find several videos on YouTube that are monetized still, that are even still up, that support worse things, that are actually calling for action, that are actually calling for attacks, that are actually calling for violence. I'm doing no such thing. I'm merely talking to a camera. And guess what? Some people don't like that. But anyway, guys, have a great day. And as always, God bless.